Alright, in my previous video, I was running the same exact quad, but I was running the 2207 1922 kV long-range motors from PiroFlip. And I had run through a whole series of tests to figure out which props were the most efficient. And afterwards, I got a lot of feedback, some of which was, just telling me which new props that I should be trying that are more efficient. But also, it was suggested that the 2405 version of these motors was actually better for long-range cruising. So I figured I might as well buy a set of them and try them out. So that's what I did. So these are the 2405s. So it's a wider, shorter motor. So I was interested to see what that changes with the efficiency of the motors and what kind of performance changes I was going to see. So basically I just reran all of those tests with the exact same quad with just the motors swapped out. And then I also went ahead and threw in all the new props that you guys suggested. So if I miss a prop, please just let me know and I'll get that ordered so I can test it with this setup and give you a comparison of just from prop to prop with the same exact setup. The quad is 620 grams as shown. And the way I tested was I threw a Tattoo 1550 R-Line 2.0 fully charged pack on here. And then I would basically do like test hovers and just kind of pump the throttle up and down. Mostly between I would say 25 and 40% throttle the whole time. And then I would run the battery down to 14.9 volts. Then I would take and rest that battery. I would recharge that battery, and then I would take a reading on how many milliamp hours were put back into the battery. And then I'd put that into my spreadsheet and then normalize it all of them to the same exact milliamp hour drawn to essentially give me a reading of if every battery had pulled out the exact same amount, which props would have let the quad hover the longest until drained. So that's what I did, and I'm going to go ahead and show you those numbers. But first I'm going to show you which props I tested just so you can see what we're looking at. Alright, up first, this is a prop that I had used last time. This is the Luminer 6x5x3 gate breaker prop. I was having a lot of trouble with this getting the prop nuts on because, as you can see, it's just got a lot of pitch to it right here at the hub, and it was causing my tool to not really bite it. So I ended up buying the Luminer prop wrench tool, which specifically was made putting on this prop a lot easier. So that's up first. That's the 53 gate breaker. I've also got the Luminer 6x4x3 prototype prop. After I posted my last video, one of the engineers over there at Luminer, he said that he had a prop that he felt would blow away all the other props in my test, and so he sent me a few sets of these, and I was really impressed with these, so we'll get into the numbers here in a bit. Getting into the Cyclone line, this is the the 6040C Dow Cyclone. We've also got the 5554C Cyclone. So it's, instead of a 5-inch, it's a 5.5-inch prop. So it's a good in between the 5 and the 6-inch. So if you're getting like bad vibrations from 6-inch props, but you want a little more prop than the 5-inch, it's not a bad choice. And then I also tested just the regular 5045C prop from Dow. We've also got the Dow 6045 tri-blade. Getting into the Gym Fan props, we got the Gym Fan 6042 6-inch bi. And then this is one that was suggested for me to test. This is the Gym Fan 5552. So just like the other 5.5-inch Cyclone, this is a 5.5-inch prop. It's extremely wide on the blades here. And this was just recommended as a high efficiency prop that didn't have a lot of jello in the footage, which when you go to the 6-inch prop, it's a lot of problems that you run into, or just bad HD footage because of jello and vibrations. We've got the HQ 6043 V1S. This is one that was recommended to me. I had tested the 5-inch V1S in my original video, so it was nice to step up to the 6-inch version of the same prop and see how it performed. This one was recommended by a lot of different people. This is the Master Air Screw 3R tri-blade prop. It's got a fairly interesting design, and enough people had recommended me to check this out that I was kind of most curious about trying this guy out. And then last but not least, we've got the Racecraft 6032 TCS tri-blade. This is one that I thought was going to be super efficient on the other motor, but it ended up not being, I don't think, in the top 3 if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is like the 5th most efficient prop in the last run. But I also, any of the props that I added to this, I also ran on the old motor just to try them out and make sure I could get a baseline for each one of these. So I'll be doing a comparison between the 2207 to the 2405 motors as well. But that's the props I'm testing, so let's just jump into the numbers. Alright, as I stated before, in the last test I was running the 2207 1922 kV long range edition motor, and now I am testing the 2405 1922. So it's a shorter, fatter motor, and so let's go ahead and just start at the top. The most efficient prop in the list was a new prop. This is the one that Luminer had sent me to test. This is the Luminer 6x4x2 bi-blade prop, and it came in at 9 minutes and 38 seconds flight time. The next best prop was the Master Airscrew 3R. It came in at 9 minutes and 22 seconds. Next we had, again, the Luminer 6x4x2 bi. I tested it again because it got such high numbers compared to the other motors I tested so far that I thought maybe I had screwed up, so I tested it again. I think the first time I got a 921, and the second time I got the 938, so it's definitely not a fluke. It's a very efficient prop. The next one up is the HQ 6x4x3 V1S at 9 minutes and 4 seconds. So we're already 38 seconds off the leader, 30 seconds off of the top props here. Next up is the Luminer 6x5x3 gate breaker prop at 8 minutes and 59 seconds. It's interesting that the gate breaker performed better on the 2207 version of this motor. The next prop up is the Gymfan 6042 6-inch at 8 minutes and 51 seconds. Next we have the Dow 6045 tri-blade at 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Then the Dow Cyclone 6040C at 8 minutes and 42 seconds. Then we've got the other Dow Cyclone. This is the 5544C at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So really not too much less of a flight time, but 12 seconds less flight time, dropping a ½ inch on the prop. And next up we've got the Racecraft 6032 TCS tri-blade at 8 minutes and 26 seconds. And then we've got the 5-inch HQ V1S at 8 minutes and 12 seconds. And last up is the Gymfan 5552 at 7 minutes and 36 seconds. This one really surprised me because a lot of people really like this prop. It says high efficiency on the packaging, but clearly of all the props tested, it is the least efficient prop from my testing. Alright, so let's just jump back to the top, and I want to talk a little bit about these props. Starting with the Luminer 6x4x2 bi-blade. Austin over at Luminer said it would win out on all the other props, and, he wasn't wrong. It found itself at the top of the list. Even on the 2207, it was right there in the first or second spot. So super impressive there. It's a bi-blade, so you'd expect it to be more efficient than a lot of these tri-blades. So if you're looking for just pure efficiency and you don't need necessarily like big punch-out thrust, I think this is a great prop choice. Let's talk about the Master Airscrew. This is a prop that was recommended by a bunch of people to me, and it's got this distinctive batwing shape. It's very super cool looking, and it's the sights is designed for FPV drone racing and freestyle acrobatics. So it's surprising that it's poised to be the best at both of those things, and yet still comes in super high in the efficiency rating. It is a little expensive at $4 a pack. They say it's made from some kind of high quality glass fiber reinforced polyamide. So it sounds like some serious engineering went into this prop, and it really shows. If you've got the money to spend and you're looking for a really nice prop, I think this is a pretty good choice. Next up is the HQ 6x4x3 V1S. It's one of the top props in both freestyle and racing at the 5-inch size, and I think that those same characteristics that everybody love, I think they move right over into the 6-inch version. It has the efficiency, but I'm curious to see how it performs, so I'll be doing some more testing with this, with just higher throttle situations and seeing if it's got the thrust that I need. Looking at the Luminer 6x5x3 gate breaker, this thing has a really interesting design, and it completely killed it on the 2207 version of this motor, but it's not quite as performant here on the 2405. I think it's still a great prop though. Looking at the Dow Cyclone T6040C, the Cyclone, if the HQ V1S isn't the top prop in racing and freestyle, then I'd say it's the Cyclone. Those have got to be the top two. The 6-inch version of this prop is basically everything you love about the 5-inch version, just in a scaled up size. I think all those things, all those attributes hold true here as well. And, it's It's not the most efficient prop, but it has tons of thrust, but sacrifices in the efficiency. The Dow Cyclone 5544C is not my favorite in really any category, but I'm curious to see what the footage looks like. With 6-inch props, you tend to get jello in your footage, and maybe propping down to like a 5.5 may fix some of those issues. So I'll be trying that out and seeing what kind of performance I get out of it. Looking at the Racecraft 6032 TCS Tri-Blade, it got similar performance in comparison to the other props as on the 2207, but nothing really wowed me with this prop at all. I'm likely going to stay away from this prop and stick to some of these other props that had characteristics that I liked a lot more. And lastly, looking at the GymFan 5552, this one was super disappointing from an efficiency standpoint, especially since, everybody kind of, like quite a few people raved about this prop. I wasn't super excited about it with the results on these two motors that I'm testing, but possibly on a higher kV, bigger motor, maybe this thing shines. Different motors are better at swinging different size and different pitch props. So I'll be taking a look at that in the future. The prop does put out crazy amounts of thrust, and it can really throw the quad around, but in these tests for efficiency, it just didn't wow me. Alright, so that's the props, guys. If you have any props that you love that I didn't test and you think would be good candidates for this, link them in the comments so I can buy them and put them in the next round of testing. I'm also going to be buying some different motors to try some stuff out. Possibly the Primo or the T motors, just because I've heard a lot of good things about those, especially the Primos when it comes to long range and mid range efficiency. So I might be buying those, and I'll try all these same props out on those motors with the same quad and see where it pans out. In the next video, I'm going to be comparing the 2207 versus the 2405 motors in the same series, this PiroDrone Hyperlay series. I got a decent amount of time with both motors and on a lot of different props, and I've got some opinions. And so we'll just compare the numbers and talk through some of the differences between a taller, skinnier motor versus a shorter, fatter motor. If you guys like videos like this, please consider subscribing, and thanks for watching.